Good evening, everyone, and welcome to my live stream. Now, I know I typically don't go live on a Friday, but I decided to go live today a little earlier because of the fact that I will be traveling to California as of Sunday, and I won't be back for a week. So I'm not probably going to be going live for about a week. So I'm just letting you guys know right now that this is my last live for about a week. I'm going to take a week off from broadcasting. In either case, I do have a special presentation to share with you guys today regarding the lost history of breakaway civilizations. Okay. So I hope you guys are having a fantastic evening, afternoon, or morning, depending on where you're at in the world. I want to give a shout out to my moderators. Thank you guys so much for being here and smashing them trolls. I also want to give a shout out to all the Galactic Jedis that are in the house. Thank you guys so much for even listening. Without you guys, I wouldn't have a show. So deep gratitude to all of you. Not only the ones that are here on the chat, but also those that watch it on the replay. Quick reminder, guys, I am having my workshop tomorrow. All right. So I'm excited about that. That's the reason why I'm not broadcasting tomorrow or going live till next week. So I can't wait to meet some of the new Galactic Jedis in person here in Sedona at the Cielo Connection. And as a reminder, it is mountain time now. Remember, Arizona does not have a time change. So it is going to be 1 o'clock mountain time. That's when it begins. Make sure you guys are there on time. And it's going to last till about 3 hours, from 1 to 4 p.m. Mountain Time. So it's not Pacific Time. Okay, I just want to make that clear. And I believe I only have a few spots left for my December courses. I do offer 3 different level Ascension classes for beginners. For those that want to know how to navigate from the 3D to the 5D, I also have Ascension 2.0 for those that are ready to learn how to connect with the quantum field, how to activate the light body, and for those that are ready to embody their cosmic self and learn about the operations and functions of the higher chakras, I do have Ascension 3.0. Now, that class goes deep. In either case, class begins next weekend for the December courses. And I think I only have spots left for Ascension Basics and Ascension 2.0. And then, of course, my groundbreaking class, our Cosmic Origin. Now, in our Cosmic Origin, guys, I take you deep into the rabbit hole. And yes, it is an interactive class where you guys get a Zoom link and I get to describe the entire cosmic infrastructure, the different levels of reality, the different types of advanced civilizations from a type 1 all the way to a type 5 cosmic, their operations and functions, the different intergalactic councils, and even better, the entire cosmic history. All right, with that have said, let's get right into it because one of the greatest secrets that nobody's really talking about in this community, but I am, of course, is how all ET civilizations, all extraterrestrial civilizations, including those that are existing within the inner Earth, are branches of the original human world. One of the things that I have revealed for those that have read my book, Our Cosmic Origin, is that this planet that we live on originated in the Vega star system, and it was a eighth dimensional world known as Avyon. So the planet that we are on is the reincarnation of Avyon, the original human world, where all humans originated from. Okay, so and for those that didn't know, yes, I am the author of these 2 books, Our Cosmic Origin and The Secret Government, which are both available on Amazon. So, humanity has been told for centuries that extraterrestrials are aliens, that they are foreign, that they are unrelated to us. But beneath the suppression, and according to the cosmic archives, and beneath the erased history, you know how many times they've reset history over and over to eradicate the civilizations of Tartaria, to eradicate from our memory the civilizations of Atlantis, the golden age of Egypt, and others that have existed prior to that. The resets have happened multiple times, guys. Okay. So beneath the erased history lies a truth far older and far more extraordinary. And that is that every extraterrestrial civilization in our galaxy and in other galaxies, believe it or not, every star nation out there, regardless if they are a type 1, type 2, 3, 4, or even 5, and even the inner earth societies and every off-world colony is a breakaway extension of the original human race that began on the primordial earth. Now, what is the primordial earth? Well, you have to understand that the original earth existed in a higher dimension. Okay, so it is not the earth that we see today. The earth that we see today has dropped in densities from the original dimensional eighth dimension. Okay, so it has dropped in frequency, and this is the reason why the Earth is now ascending, right? It is now bouncing back up. Planetary ascension is very real. So it is not the Earth that we see today in the 3D, but the original higher dimensional world that once was known as Avyon Gaia. Avyon Gaia. And that was the eighth dimensional cradle of creation from which all human lineages, the original Adam and Eve, the spiritual Adam, originated from. Every human extraterrestrial out there emerged from the original eighth dimensional Avyon Earth. So Earth is not a derivative world, okay? Earth is the starting point. It is the starting point of all human galactic societies. And all extraterrestrials, without exception, are branches from humanity's ancient cosmic diaspora. Well, this is the great breakaway, okay? Let me go a little deeper. Before the fall, which is metaphorically describing the dropping of densities from higher realities into lower frequencies, right? Dense realities, congealed matter. Earth was the original Lyran vegan human homeworld. This was the Earth in its original habitat in the eighth dimension. So before the dimensional collapse, that was the result of what? Of the war against the synthetic timeline, the AI time loop, right? Earth existed in a completely different location and vibrational spectrum. And this explains why she is to return back to her original location and vibrational spectrum. Okay. This was an 8th D luminous world that was orbiting within the Vega star system, which was home to the founder human angelic race, whose DNA, our ancestors, carried the full 12-strand template and the capacity to operate across multiple densities. Okay, that was the original atom. So the planet Avyon Gaia, as it was known back then, the first seeding, the human world in our Milky Way, was the first seeding of the human world in our Milky Way. And when we do have full disclosure, all of this information will be restored or returning back to the Earth, okay? The origin point of the Lyran human species was Avyon Earth in the 8th dimension, the template world, whose genetics became the foundation for countless later civilizations. A bridge world connecting dimensions, species, and cosmic lineages. So all future human civilizations trace back to Avyon. Not metaphorically, my friends, literally, literally. Again, this is going to be part of the cosmic disclosure. So the stars are filled with humans because of the fact that the stars were seeded by humans. All right. And one of the things that I talk about in my book, Our Cosmic Origin, is that over 70% of extraterrestrial life forms are advanced humans. They're humans on various levels of spiritual, cultural, and technological development. Okay. And so all of the stars were seeded, all of the star nations were seeded by the original humans who left Earth long before Earth fell into lower frequencies, eventually dropping all the way down to the 3rd density. So the first breakaway civilization, my friends, is traceable back to the event that was known as the Lyran Exodus after the Draco invasion. And for those that have taken Our Cosmic Origin class, you well know about the Lyran diaspora, right? Which was an act to preserve the human lineage, the human archetype from falling, from being destroyed by the Draco invasion. So the destruction of Avyon which was the original eighth dimensional Earth, by the way. And yes, the Dracos were using AI to access those realities, as will be explained in my next book. But the destruction of Avyon by the Draco Empire triggered the first and most important breakaway event in all of galactic history. And this is the reason why our kind, humans, not reptilians, exist throughout the universe, okay, because of the diaspora that took place. So as Avyon fell due to the destruction of the original human world, its humans inhabitants fled into all these different directions, all right? They went over to the Pleiades, all right? They started to establish themselves in the Alcyon system, the Taygeta system, Maya, Merope, Atlas, the Seven Sisters, and all the other innumerable minor stars that are orbiting around Alcyon, right? The Pleiades. So even the Pleiadians originated in Lyra, okay? Humans were also evolved into a hyper advanced frequency based society when they went to establish themselves in the Arcturian system. So even the Arcturians are breakaway groups from the original human world, okay? Creating, of course, some of them went into Sirius B and A, creating the Sirian A humanoids and the Sirian B aquatic human hybrid civilizations. And then some even went into the Andromedan sectors, where human consciousness expanded into higher dimensional mastery. And then, of course, some went over into Orion, where the earliest peace seeking human communities formed long before the Orion Wars. And then some, my friends, went to the inner Earth, where a large human population migrated through crystalline portals in order to preserve the original 5D Edenic template. Eden, yes, of course, Eden, the original homeworld of the humans, Eden. All right, they've always tried to preserve the original 5D Edenic template. So we could say, by virtue of that, that every civilization out there, every star nation, whether you are Arcturian, whether you are Andromedan, Pleiadian, Orion, Alpha Centaurian, I mean, it's countless star nations, all originated from the original human homeworld, which was the original Earth. So each of these groups have always maintained the core human essence, but adapted to new environments, right? New densities, and this is why their biologics started mutating into different variations. Some humanoids have spocky ears. Some humanoids have long elongated faces. Some of them have short, spongy faces, but they're all originally from the homeworld Avyon Earth in the eighth dimension. So this began the human galactic expansion, which took place approximately 500 million years ago, okay, which was the massive diaspora that eventually seeded humanity across the entire Milky Way and other surrounding galaxies. So these were not aliens, and they're not aliens, because that explains why they are all now coming back to the original homeworld, Earth, right? Even though Earth dropped all the way to the 3D, it still makes the Earth the original homeworld, especially now because the Earth is going to be bouncing back to the higher dimensions, right? So they were the first generation. Okay, all of these groups, the Andromedans, the Arcturians, the Pleiadians, the Orions, the Alpha Centaurians, the Aldebarans, the Pegasians, the Cassiopeans, the Hadarians. I mean, the list goes on. They were the first generation of breakaway Earth civilizations, my friends. Okay. The inner Earth civilizations that exist right now underneath our feet are also Earth's breakaway civilizations. Okay. Just as human groups fled outward into the galaxy, many also fled inward and have been there underneath our feet in the inner Earth for millions upon millions of years. And even throughout the different destructions of Earth, Earth had two destructions already. That's why it's important that you guys take our cosmic origin class to understand the whole history about this. So the original destruction was the original human world, Avyon. All right. The second destruction of Earth was the super Earth Tiamat, which existed 4 million years ago in our solar system. And then, of course, this is the third. This is known as the third Earth Grand Experiment. And from what I understand, according to the galactic records and according to the galactic prophecies, this experiment is supposed to be a success. Okay, this is the Earth, the third incarnation of the Earth, the planet that we're on. Okay, so just as human groups fled outward into the different parts of the Milky Way, many have gone inward, and they have been there since. All right, even throughout the different destructions of the first Earth experiment and the second Earth experiment. Um, and they've existed in interdimensional strata regions, uh, fully accessible, okay, of course, to those that are operating in those realities, but not to the third density, okay? Because of the fact that the third density became very solidified, okay, when it fell under the control of the Draco and Anunnaki forces. So these groups became the Argarthians, and they still exist in the inner earth, in the 5-dimensional layers of the inner earth. And they are 5-dimensional humans. They have been the preservers of the pre-fall human template. The Lemurian and the Lemurian inner colonies who retreated into the crystalline caverns after the great flood cycles have existed in the inner earth ever since. Another example of another breakaway group that exists within the earth is the Telosians. The Telosians are underneath Mount Shasta, and it is believed that they are the descendants of the Lemurians who maintained a 5D biology. As well as the Hyperborean remnants, my friends. The Hyperborean was the second great civilization on this planet, existing millions of years ago, even before Atlantis and before Lemuria. And the Hyborians have always maintained a radiant plasmic body, as they are eighth dimensional humans. Okay, not to mention the Edenic inner Earth councils, who safeguard ancient Earth records till the present moment. They also safeguard the DNA templates and the time capsule libraries. And none of these groups are alien. No one is an alien, guys. They are our brothers and sisters returning back to the home world. Okay. So they are all breakaway human civilizations that refused to descend into the 3 density. And the only reason we fell into the 3 density is because of what Enki Poseidon did. All right. Well, these other advanced humans that exist in higher dimensions, who are our cousins, our ancestral cosmic cousins, they do represent the continuity of humanity in the higher states, while the surface world underwent the long cycles of forgetfulness after the cataclysm of Atlantis. So every ET race is a specialized future branch of humanity. Let me repeat that again. Every ET race out there is a specialized future branch of humanity. As the breakaway groups spread across the galaxy, each evolved into distinct expressions of the original human template. For instance, the Pleiadians, they show humanity's future emotional and heart-centered potential. The Arcturians show our future mastery of geometry, telepathy, and light architecture. And yes, the Arcturians are the ones that gifted us with the medbed technology, with the holographic regenerators, with the cocoon chambers, and all of these advanced modalities that had been used within the private sector. They were a gift to us from future version of us known as the Arcturians. And the Andromedans, who also show our future expansion into time navigation and quantum governance. Not to mention the Syrians. The Syrians reflect humanity's warrior state, the healer aspect of humanity. And they're also known as genetic stewardship aspects. So the Syrians and the Lyrians were the original genetic engineers of all human life forms and other life forms that are not human. Okay. So no, the Anunnaki never created us. Okay. We were already created in Lyra 560 million years ago. And then, of course, the Lyran descendants that carry the codes of sovereignty, creativity, and galactic leadership. And then we have the inner Earth humans who still exist till the present moment underneath our feet, showing what humanity looks like without the fall. Very tall, very slender, very chiseled. The men are muscular, robust with six packs. The women are very fit and petite. That's what we used to look like before we became a degenerative race due to Enki's tampering. But again, all of that's going to be restored. We will be restored soon to our galactic status, my friends. So, across millions of years, humans evolved to adapt to different star systems, different densities, different vibrational ecosystems, explaining the variation of their physical status. But all branches remain connected to the original genetic framework of the human angelic blueprint. Okay? We were all made in the image of the one. Thus, there are no extraterrestrials, only humanity in its infinite form. All right? There are no extraterrestrials. It is all humans in its infinite forms and varieties. So, Earth is the nexus point, my friends. And this is something that I've been teaching since I came on the scene. You know, a lot of people think that these extraterrestrials are separate being from us, and they're not. They are us in the future. Okay? To give you an example, the Pleiadians are fifth dimensional versions of us. We are their third dimensional version, right? We fell in density. So we are them in the fall, the 3D. The Pleiadians are us bouncing back to the 5D. The Arcturians are us in the 7th D. The Andromedans are us in the 9th D. The Orion humans are us in the 6th D. The Vegan humans are us in the 10th D. The Avyonian humans are us in the 11th D. And then, of course, you have the original humans. If you want to go back to existing at the core of the galaxy, we have what? The Aramatanian humans that exist in the 12th dimension. That is us in the 12th dimension. So each branch of extraterrestrials is us existing in a different density, in a higher dimensional density, okay, in the future, okay? So the Arcturians are a future version of the Pleiadians. The Andromedans are a future version of the Arcturians. The Avyonians or the Vegans are a future version of the Andromedans. Does it make sense? Okay, but we are all interconnected, okay? Okay, let's continue here. So Earth is the nexus point of all human timelines. And this is why every ET civilization is watching the Earth right now. They are all returning to the primordial world, which is Earth, right? Especially now that the Earth is going to be once again bouncing up to her original frequencies. She's going to be undergoing her ascension process. So why is there such urgency around Earth's ascension is the question. Why are inner Earth civilizations preparing to reveal themselves to the surface world? Well, because all of these breakaway human civilizations trace their origin back to the Earth. And thus, the Earth's ascension determines the fate of all of them. And that is why our positive timeline is on a steady trajectory and why it has been preserved. Because if we don't ascend, if we don't make it, all of those future versions of us eventually collapse. And that is why they are all here. This is why they have all time traveled back to the nexus point to make sure that we ascend. Okay, guys, there is more. So remember, what happens here will affect the fates of all human advanced civilizations on various levels of reality. Okay. Quick reminder, guys, and a disclaimer, I am not a doctor, but I do believe in this product called Folium that is a nano eliminator, graphene, metal, everything that the body does not need, everything that they contaminate us with, this eliminates it from your body, okay? It extracts it, it dissolves it. When there are no metals, there are no parasites. Also, parasites exist in a very concentrated heavy metal environment. And when you have no metals or parasites, the natural healing process takes place. The link is always in the description, guys. This stuff is the greatest thing. It's the cosmic solution to fight the invasion of our bodies, right? The invasion is they're trying to invade us from within. So this is the cosmic solution to countermeasure the invasion of our bodies from these nanoparticulates, these nanobots, whatever you want to call them. All right, let's continue. So all of these breakaway civilizations trace their origin back to the earth, and that is one of the greatest disclosures and red pill that humanity is going to have to swallow when all of this comes out. And because that determines why the Earth's ascension is very crucial at this time, guys. The Pleiadians, right, which are what? Fifth dimensional versions of us. The Arcturians, which are seventh dimensional versions of us. The Sirians, which are eighth dimensional versions of us. The Andromedans, which are ninth dimensional versions of us. The Lyrans, which are 10, 11 dimensional versions of us. The Argarthians, which are sixth and fifth dimensional versions of us. All the inner Earth councils, the future human federations, and the newly forming Universal Federation are all one and the same. Okay. So when Earth rises, and she is, as she is currently undergoing her own ascension, the entire human family is rising, not just here on this planet, but everywhere in the galaxy. Okay. When Earth activates her original Avyon Gaia grids, and it's happening right now as I speak, especially with the arrival of 3i Atlas, every breakaway civilization will reconnect to the founder blueprint, which is the original sacred timeline, the original sacred creation. Earth is where it began. Earth will be restored where it began. Okay. Earth will be returned to her original status. Earth is the crossroads of all timelines. Okay. This is the nexus point, guys. What happens here determines the outcome of every probability. Okay. Both going into the future and into the past. And this is why the ETs are here, my friends. They are us coming back. Technically, they are us trying to reconnect with us when the Great Solar Flash takes place, right? There's going to be this integration of multidimensional selves collapsing into one, okay? And this is why the inner Earth is preparing for emergence and contact with the surface world. And this is why humanity is experiencing an unprecedented awakening at this time. Because we are returning or reuniting with our cosmic family because they are us. We are them. In the 3D, we are them. They are us in the higher dimensions, okay? The truth is simple, yet monumental, my friends. Every extraterrestrial is a future human, okay? Every inner Earth being is a preserved human that decided not to fall into the 3D reality, okay? Every star nation is a branch of the original Earth civilization. So humanity is not meeting aliens when first contact takes place. Humanity is reconnecting with its own galactic family, its own extended self, returning from millions of years of cosmic evolution to reunify at the end of the cycle, which ends in 2028. So this is the long prophesied grand reunion. As Earth ascends, the breakaway Pleiadian lineages return. A lot of you starseeds that are Pleiadian starseeds, all you're going to do is integrate with your galactic Pleiadian self, your fifth dimensional self. That's what Ascension is. The breakaway Arcturian lineages will return. A lot of you Arcturian starseeds are going to integrate with your Arcturian avatar when the Ascension takes place. The breakaway Syrian lineages will return. A lot of you Syrian starseeds are going to reintegrate with your Syrian avatar. The breakaway Andromedan lineage will return. A lot of the Andromedan starseeds here are going to integrate with their Andromedan avatar. And of course, The inner Earth civilization will return. There are some of you guys here. There are star seeds representing the inner Earth, which means that you have a corresponding avatar simultaneously living in the inner Earth. And all you're going to do is integrate, collapse, become one. That's it. Okay? Everything returns to the origin point. Everything, my friends. Everything returns back to the original homeworld, Earth. Everything returns to the unified human angelic blueprint. In conclusion, my friends, all ET civilization are Earth's children returning back home. There is no alien agenda, okay? There is only a family. There is only a family returning to its original homeworld. Earth is not a primitive world awaiting rescue. Earth is a fallen avatar world undergoing restoration. And all human-derived civilizations above in the multiple star systems, below, underneath our feet in the inner Earth societies, and beyond are here to help reactivate the original 8th D potential. And it doesn't stop there. Even when we ascend back to the 8th D Earth reality, Avyon Gaia, which exists in Harmonic Universe 3, right? For those that have taken my course, our Cosmic Origin. I mean, this is why it's important for you guys to take my class. We're still going to be ascending all the way to the 12D Earth, which is Earth existing in a pre-material light form, okay? But this time, my friends, we're taking our body with us. In other words, these bodies are going to become spiritualized as we continue ascending all the way to the 12D Earth. And the 12D Earth is home, okay? The origin point is the 8th D Earth, Gaia Avyon. That's the origin point. The end point or the return point is 12-dimensional Earth Aramatena, okay? So every ET civilization is a breakaway human lineage. Every ET being is a relative. Every inner Earth society is a preserved ancestral version of us. The universe is filled with humans because Earth seeded the universe with humans long ago, okay? And now that the cycle is completing, the family is returning, the gathering of the star nations here on Earth. The blueprint is going to reactivate, and Earth rises again as Avyon Gaia, the original human world. And this is why I decided to call this presentation The Lost History of All Breakaway Civilizations, because most people think that the breakaway civilizations are the ones that broke away within the last century, okay? Beginning with the Nazis in the 1920s and 30s, right? That is not correct. Those are modern breakaway civilizations, right? The Dark Fleet, the Interplanetary Corporate Conglomerate, Solar Warden, Galactic Global League of Nations, you name it. Those are modern breakaway groups that have been broken away from our own shadow governments and secret societies, both good and bad, right? However, the lost history of breakaway groups goes back to the Earth existing in the 8th dimension. So what does that tell you guys? That breakaway groups have always existed. Every time a certain civilization reaches the space age, which is what we call a type 1 civilization, becomes a breakaway group. And they go off to other Earth-like planets to colonize or to establish different settlements. Okay? Every civilization that has existed on this planet that has reached the space age is considered a breakaway group. My friends, breakaway groups have always existed. They just don't tell us this. Okay? Now, I hope you guys are having a fantastic day today on a Friday. So, as a reminder, I'm not going to be going live tomorrow due to my event here in Sedona, Arizona. And I will be taking a week off, so I'm not going to be broadcasting for another week, all right? So don't think something happened to me. I'm just letting you guys know right now that I'm taking a week off from going live. And yes, I know there's Probably going to be a lot of intel to report on when I do come back. But you guys know when I do come back, I will have a lot of intel to share. So I hope you guys are doing well. It is early Friday. I normally don't go live at this time, but because I wasn't going to be going live tomorrow, I decided to go live today. And I do see that there is 1,100 people in the house. 1,100 people in the house. Well, it's it's normal to have 1,100 people. Nobody really knows that I go live at this time, and I think I gave the notification late last night, so I could only imagine that a lot of people are out and about doing their thing, but it's okay. I'm going to go ahead and give some shout outs. I want to give some shout outs to some of the Galactic Jedis. Project Skyfalls is in the house. XRP Alchemy, Baby Blue Notes, Lee Star 6188, Peggy Baker, Melissa Harper, Sherry Shoon, Wolf Mother, William Mine, Lee Starr, Michael Hoiston, and Dash Pam 909, and Angela, and all 1,100 Galactic Jedis that are in the house. All right, guys, it's about that time. If you guys want to ask me some Q&A, I'm probably going to just do about 15 minutes of Q&A, if you guys don't mind. Again, I wasn't planning on going live today, but I just felt like I needed to let you guys know ahead of time that I was going to take about a week off, so that way you guys don't worry about me or don't think something happened to me. But I hope you guys really enjoyed today's small presentation regarding the lost history of breakaway groups and how all extraterrestrial races originated from Earth in a higher dimension, and how they are all returning back to the home world. Okay, let's answer some questions. When do we get our powers? Very soon. Between now, I mean, we might even get them by the end of December, because, we're going to have a planetary alignment. We're going to have 3i Atlas in its closest proximity to the Earth. So I'm not saying it's going to happen for sure, but it's always best to be ready. But remember, this current reality construct comes to an end by no later than 2028, give or take. Could be sooner, could be a little after, but give or take. So between now and then, that's the best way to answer that question. What about those who have passed over already? Well, if were generally good people, they are going to be waiting for us in the new Earth. They're already there waiting for us in the new Earth. For all my new subscribers, I am the author of these two books, The Secret Government, Invisible Architects, and Our Cosmic Origin. The Secret Government describes the battle between the Cabal and the White Hats going back to 6,000 years ago. Okay, it's like suppressed history. And then our Cosmic Origin restores galactic history and galactic and cosmic information back to the Earth. So for all my new subscribers, if you guys want to keep up to date with a lot of my transmissions and you guys want to know what I'm talking about, I would strongly suggest to order my books on Amazon, The Secret Government and Our Cosmic Origin. And of course, all of my books have links within my website, ourcosmicorigin.com. Carol says, wow, thanks, Ishmael. Oh, you are so welcome. Are NPCs, which stands for non-player characters, are they getting more erratic crazy? I think so, because they're not adapting to the new frequency, so they're going to burst. They're going to burst pretty soon. They won't be able to exist. Are we living in the most important time in universe history? This is a question from Palm 10 3693, and the answer to that is yes, we are. Indeed, we are. First super chat from clarity comes from contrast. What a name. From her name goes clarity comes from Yes, my next day back on the live will be Saturday the 29th, which is when my first class for December begins. So I can't wait to meet some of the new people next week in my new classes that are for December. It's going to be so fun to get to know some of the new Galactic Jedis. And that's one of the things about taking a course with me, guys, is that I get to know you on a personal level. You know, we're on a Zoom, it's like talking on FaceTime. So it's exciting to meet some of the new Galactic Jedis. So again, I do have some openings for our cosmic origin, which breaks down the entire cosmic infrastructure. It's mind blowing. Ascension Basics and Ascension 2.0. And I think my link is in the chat right now. Thank you so much for that, Wolf Mother. I appreciate that. Is it possible that the Earth is the creator of this universe, bringing us all back together? Um, I don't know if the Earth is the creator of this universe, but what I do know is that the original homeworld of all human life forms originated in this Earth. So, would I say Earth is the creator of this universe? Probably not. But was Earth the first planet in which all life sprung from? Yes, that I would say yes. Is there any way besides meditation to confirm which species we are? Well, one of the things that I do for those that take my cosmic origin class is that at the end of the fourth class, which is the final class, by tapping into your higher self and energy, I'm able to decipher your star origin. So I would take my course, our cosmic origin. What does Orion 8 mean? Orion 8 is a type of council. It's called the Midway Council. And they're also charged of the genetic, I'm sorry, of the, what's the best way to describe it? It is the Council of Orion that is in charge of the seeding programs. Okay, so even though the seeding programs began with the Lyran Syrians, right now the seeding programs have been relocated over to the Councils of Light, which occupy the planet Mintaka, Annaline, and Anlilak, which of course the pyramids were um, built according to those planets, right? They point at those three planets. That's the belt of Orion. All right, more questions. Is Jesus, Joshua Jesus, head of the Emerald Order? Yes, he is the firstborn in heaven, the overseer of the very first creation, which took place 900 billion years ago. So, yeah, he is the leader of the entire Emerald Order, of the entire spiritual hierarchy, celestial hierarchy. Are we still in a reincarnation loop if we die? No, not anymore. Yeah, that was dismantled. The Saturn Moon matrix was dismantled in 2024, I believe, 23. No, 22. I'm sorry, 3 years ago. It was dismantled. So now, if you die, all you're going to do is, if you're a good person, if you're a star seed, you're just going to reintegrate with your galactic avatar. You will no longer be coming back to the Earth. Which type of lyran is humanoid but with claws? And where are they from? This is a question from Angela. Well, there are different types of Lyran humanoids. Remember, the original Lyrids were the Ormas, the cat people, right? The lion people. And they did volunteered in our from another universe that had reached completion to kind of help in the development of the human specimens here in this universe. So I would say that the Lyran humanoids with claws are the ormas, the felines, the lions. No, we don't need to wait till 2028. Things are going to be happening as maybe by the end of this year, towards the beginning of 2026, with disclosures, releasing of files, information, revelations to the public, one thing after another. So it's going to trickle to 2028, not trickle, but continue to 2028. 2028 is the final bifurcation. If you haven't yet decided on which timeline you want to be on before 2028, then you should. Okay, make sure you choose the positive organic timeline. But the changes that are going to lead to the splitting of the two worlds, not physically but vibrationally, right? The original home world, spiritual Earth, and then the 3D Earth continuing under a technocratic dystopia, but in a fake 4D reality. That's going to take place, I would say, by no later than 2028. Thank you so much, Hope Israel, for the super chat. This makes sense because I'm having anxiety and chest pains. Also met an angel in the astro who steeped me other humans, but they were angels. Okay, good to know. Thank you for sharing. Are you familiar with the Urantia teachings? Yes, I am. In fact, the only thing that is accurate in the Urantia Revelations is the volume one, where they reveal the central universe, the super universe, and the local universes. All the other volumes, which is about 67 or 70% of the book, is misinformation. Right? It was tampered with by the dark forces. But again, the cosmology aspect of the Urantia book is accurate, and that very well intimately corresponds with the five harmonic universe of Kalantic science and the galactic records regarding the 15-dimensional cosmic history of the multiverse. So it really well aligns with that. And of course, it also aligns with the esoteric knowledge regarding the spiritual eternal realms, the semi-eternal realms, and the physical realms, right? The three layers or the three levels of existence, major levels of existence. All right, one more question, guys. One more question. I am ready for a big change. I think we all are. I'm just looking for that one final question before I end the live. Was the soul trap part of the soul contract? That's a good question. There is a saying that we all kind of agree to some sort of pre-contractual agreement before we incarnated into these 3D avatars. But I'm gonna have to look into that a little further. So I really don't know how to answer that question right now. Great interview with Akura. Oh, thank you, Melissa Harper. I appreciate that. All right, guys. We wish you guys, me, my lovey, and the kitties, wish you guys a happy Thanksgiving, and I will see you guys after Thanksgiving next weekend on a Saturday when I return. With that have said, may the God Force be with you all, and I'll see those that are going to make it in person tomorrow here in Sedona. Can't wait to meet some of you. See you guys later. Bye.